In life, we often hear about the wondrous friendships between animals. But what if a seemingly perfect friendship sometimes hides a dark secret? Today, we will tell you about a strange bond between a cat and a mouse, where innocent trust might come at the cost of everything. Once upon a time, a clever cat befriended a trusting mouse. The cat spoke so sweetly of his deep affection and unwavering friendship that, at long last, the mouse agreed to live and keep house together. "But my dear little mouse," said the cat with a serious paw on his chin, "we absolutely must prepare for winter, or we'll both suffer from hunger. And you, being so small and adventurous, simply cannot risk venturing out everywhere, or you might find yourself in a nasty trap." The good mouse, convinced by this excellent advice, readily agreed. So they bought a plump pot of fat, but then came the puzzling question, where to hide it? After much pondering, the cat finally declared, "Aha! I know just the place, the church. No one would dare take anything from there. We'll tuck it safely beneath the altar, and we won't touch a single drop until we truly need it." And so, the pot was carefully stored away. However, it wasn't long before the cat felt a most profound craving for that fat. He approached the mouse with a solemn look. "My dear mouse, I have important news. My cousin has just brought a precious little son into the world, and she's honored me by asking me to be his godfather. He's a charming fellow, white with brown spots, and I must hold him over the baptismal font. I simply must go today. Can you look after the house by yourself?" "Oh, yes, yes," chirped the mouse, delighted. "By all means, go. And if you happen upon any tasty morsels, do think of me. I'd quite fancy a drop of sweet red christening wine myself." But, as it often happens, all of this was utterly untrue. The cat had no cousin, and certainly no godchild. He scurried straight to the church, crept silently to the pot of fat, and began to lick. He didn't stop until he'd licked off the entire delicious top off, that lovely creamy layer on the surface. Full and content, he then went for a leisurely stroll on the town's rooftops, lazily surveying the world below. He stretched out in the warm sun, occasionally licking his whiskers with immense satisfaction as he thought of the pot of fat. It wasn't until evening that he finally sauntered back home. "Well, look who's back," exclaimed the mouse. "You must have had a truly delightful day." "Everything went wonderfully," purred the cat. "And what name did they give the little one?" inquired the mouse, full of curiosity. "Top off," replied the cat, quite coolly. "Top off?" cried the mouse, her eyes wide. "What a very odd and uncommon name. Is that a usual name in your family?" "What does it matter?" sniffed the cat dismissively. "It's certainly no worse than Crumb Thief, which is what your godchildren are often called." Before long, the cat was once again overcome by a fierce longing for the fat. He turned to the mouse. "You simply must do me another favor, my dear. I need you to manage the house alone for just one more day. I've been asked to be godfather again, and since this new baby has a lovely white ring around its neck, I truly couldn't refuse." The kind mouse, unsuspecting as ever, readily consented. Meanwhile, the cat stealthily crept along the town wall to the church and this time ravenously devoured half the pot of fat. "Nothing tastes as good as that which one eats by one's self," he muttered, thoroughly pleased with his day's work. When he arrived home, the mouse eagerly asked, "And what name was this child christened with?" "Half gone," answered the cat. "Half gone? What on earth are you saying?" exclaimed the mouse, bewildered. "I have never in my life heard such a name. I'd wager it isn't in any almanac." Soon enough, the cat's mouth began to water once more for the delectable treat. "Well, they say all good things come in threes," he announced to the mouse. "I've been asked to be godfather again. This child is entirely black, except for its little white paws. Such a special birth only happens once every few years. You'll let me go, won't you?" "Top off. Half gone," the mouse mused aloud. "Those are such peculiar names, they really make me stop and think." "Oh, you just sit there at home," scoffed the cat, "with your dark gray fur coat and long fluffy tail, simply capturing fantasies. That's because you never go out into the daylight to see the world." During the cat's absence, the mouse diligently cleaned the house and put everything in order. But the greedy cat, meanwhile, devoured all the rest of the fat. "Ah, one only truly has peace once everything is eaten up," he purred to himself. Well fed and plump, he didn't return home until well after nightfall. The mouse immediately asked what name had been given to the third child. "You won't like this one either," said the cat. "His name is All Gone." "All Gone?" shrieked the mouse. "That is the most worrisome name of all. I've never seen it in print. All Gone. What can that mean?" She shook her head, curled herself up into a tight ball, and lay down to sleep, still pondering. From that day forth, no one invited the cat to be godfather anymore. But when winter truly set in, and there was no longer anything to be found outside, the mouse remembered their precious stored food. "Come, dear cat," she said, "let us go to our pot of fat which we so carefully saved for ourselves. It will taste wonderful now." "Yes," answered the cat, stretching languidly. "You'll enjoy it as much as you would enjoy sticking that dainty tongue of yours out of the window." They set out on their way, but when they arrived, the pot of fat was indeed still in its place, just as they had left it. The only problem was, it was completely empty. "Alas!" cried the mouse, her voice trembling. "Now I see what has truly happened. Now it all comes to light. You, my true friend, ate everything when you were serving as a godfather. First top off, then half gone, and then—" "Be quiet!" roared the cat, his eyes flashing. "One more word and I'll eat you too!" "All gone," was already on the poor mouse's lips. She had scarcely spoken it before the cat sprang on her, seized her, and swallowed her down whole. You see, that is simply the way of the world. Friends, through the story of the cat and the mouse, Toy Chick wants to send a message. Always keep a kind heart, but don't forget to be careful when placing your trust in anyone. Sometimes, sweet words can hide things that aren't what we expect.